Yo, what is good, YouTube? In this video, we got Karmelo Anthony's all-white jury sees fight video and pocket knife. Oh shit! I don't know what he's talking about. A fight video and a pocket knife. I'm about to go on air while this video is playing and see if I can find that. Let's get to it. I hope you enjoy this video, and if y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if y'all want to see these reactions live, we are live every single day on the Twitch. Link in the description. I'm live right now. I would love to see some of y'all tune in. You know, right now we're chilling. We're about to smoke up a little bit. About to take another shot. Chilling, you feel me? And we're about to see a 1090 Jade video. Shout out Jade. End of sentence. Hey man, I hope I enjoyed the video. No shit.
Karmelo Anthony case is heating up and it is going down in Texas. Apparently there's been some racial protests outside of the courthouse. A registered ex-offender is saying he witnessed the actual stabbing and nobody even knows who this guy is. I don't even know how he was allowed out of school. It's also been confirmed that Karmelo had a knife, a folding knife, because everyone was throwing it out there that, oh no, it wasn't a knife, it was a cleat tool. Apparently a cleat tool doesn't even exist. He had a knife. But the ex-offender was saying Karmelo got jumped by 4 people. A lawyer is saying that isn't the case, and it's looking like they're gonna have to go the manslaughter route. We're gonna be covering all of what's going on now, but I will say this video
Jumped by 4 people, bro. Just saying anything. I'm pretty sure that was easily proven that that wasn't the case. But of course, people just don't say something and run with it.
video is gonna contain some racial things, right? Because I'm going to be showing both sides of the protests. I'm going to try to edit out
put it at 1.50
what I don't think YouTube will allow. And keep in mind, this is not a place for hate. We are not for racism. We are not trying to see this as a black and white thing. We are trying to see this as a right and wrong thing. Was Karmelo Anthony right or wrong in taking the life of Austin Metcalf?
This color grade was made with Imagen AI using my light. Instead of color grading every single clip, you just select your
You want to make hundreds of dollars from your phone for immense cash right now. The topic, he would be on scene recording what is going on outside of the courthouse, and he would say, a man who says he was allowed to view surveillance video during the early stages of the investigation into the April 2025 incident involving Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf has publicly shared his account of what he says the footage shows. The video recorded inside the stadium is considered a key piece of evidence as Anthony's murder trial continues in Collin County. This week, jurors have heard testimony and reviewed video evidence related to the confrontation that resulted in Metcalf's death. The statements made by the individual have not been independently verified in court, and their surveillance footage has not been publicly released. So pay attention to what this man just said. The man that's about to speak, it has not been verified by anyone that what he is saying is truth, and he is claiming to be the only person who's seen the actual surveillance video, because the people that have seen it in the courtroom, they're not allowed to talk about it. So this is breaking alleged news.
It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come back down.
Okay.
That's not clear. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo's already up out of there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or
yeah, it was still rain. You know,
right.
So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
We were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again, then it was over with.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their 2 buddies, and a few other kids, there was a few kids involved with them. They were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up line. One veered off probably toward his way to go to a coach, to kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. You know, if you're Karmelo,
and they showed it on the video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk
I'm gonna say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up. That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and it's an immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jumping.
Yeah, it wasn't just a touch, it wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push, it was all kind of things. But Austin push, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it was more.
Man, hell nah, yo. Alright. Hey, who knows? How much want to bet that it should come out that isn't what happened, and this motherfucker is lying, yo. This doofy lying, yo. Straight out his teeth. Lying out his teeth, yo.
So it's more than the twins that got some licks on. So they showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the dark boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember.
Maybe.
So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you ain't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get into it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin putting the headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this space to the left. He went down. He fell, and that's when they realized he was gone, because they were still punching.
Okay, so first off, I don't ever trust somebody that wears a bandana print t-shirt. Now, we're going to look at the comments real quick. All respect to the people in the comments, because, you know, when you see something online, the power of the internet is you're going to see what you see and you're going to assume it's true. So the reactions in the comment section, while they may be considered irresponsible if they haven't done their own homework, these are just genuine reactions of people taking what this man said as truth. So Mr. Allison would say that's why the video was never public, because it showed Austin and his brother as the aggressor. Tiara would say, I thought they issued a gag order for witnesses. Protect this man. And Officer Tatum would say, that's not even the testimony of Anthony. I need to see this. So apparently this guy right here has seen something that nobody else except for the people actually in court have seen. But who is this man? Now I'm gonna have to blur out some information just so, you know, this stays up, but this is Morris Dwayne Turner, and he's a lifetime registered ex-offender after he apparently picked up a high school boy, took him to a hotel, did what he did, brought him back to the school with hickeys on his neck, right? So how long have I been recording this? 8 minutes and I should be good. How the fuck he was at a school, at a track meet? I have no fucking idea, right? So I find it highly unlikely that anything this man...
Oh, hold on. Cause Jake's professional, you know, 1.17 million. He knows already 52,000. He knows to say alleged. If this isn't true, he knows to say it. But this is true. He picked up a boy, took him to a hotel, gave him hitties and shit, and dropped him back off in high school. And fuck, how was he at this situation? How is he in public? How is he not in jail? What? How is he not gone? How is he not 6 feet under? Right? What?
Said is true. That this registered ex-offender was at a high school track meet and was able to witness something that nobody else. So for some reason, they decided to show him the video and no one else. I don't believe it, but that's just my opinion. Now, Michael can't.
I don't believe it either. Don't worry, Jake. I'm with you. I don't believe that shit. I think this guy lying out his teeth. This guy, if he is the type of guy to meet a minor, yeah, he's the type of guy to lie and make someone look better.
For some reason, they decided to show him the video and no one else. I don't believe it, but that's just my opinion. Now, Michael Campbell, I believe, is a trial lawyer out of Texas, and one of his most recent reposts would say it may be time for Karmelo's defense to pivot to a manslaughter strategy. Now, Michael would say, what I am hearing from the Karmelo Anthony trial isn't good. Yikes. It seems like contradicting versions and interpretations of the events. That's normal at trial. I'm going to reserve my opinion until all evidence is presented. Somebody would comment saying, what are you hearing? And he would reply saying that the surveillance video was showed in court clearly shows a one-on-one physical altercation and then a stabbing. If this is true, and if it was me as a defense attorney, I would pivot and start arguing manslaughter, heat of passion, and ask for probation. So an actual lawyer from Texas is saying what he's heard that's been showed inside of the and asked for probation is a one-on-one physical altercation resulting in a stabbing. And he is saying if he was the lawyer, look, there's not much getting away with this. I would put it away from murder and put it to manslaughter, and we'll say it was just the heat of the moment and try to get him a shitload of probation. But watch how crazy it's getting outside of the courtroom as protesters clash.
This is the game changer that everybody have been asking for.
So basically this big button right here in the middle.
Yeah, all the fans, all the people that want to intervene, they're gonna try and make it better, but it's really just gonna make it worse. It's gonna make the law enforcement, it's gonna make all the people inside, judges, police, it's gonna make them be like, nah, we gotta do something even more now. Yeah, not making it better, yo. Yeah, this is not making it better.
Now, if y'all could hear that correctly, the man is chanting, the only good cracker is a dead cracker. And this isn't one-sided. I'm gonna show y'all the other side right now.
Karmelo Anthony should be swinging from a tree outside this courthouse. Karmelo Anthony should be from a tree. He wants to reestablish race relations in this country so that we can get along.
Tensions were high today for the Karmelo Anthony case, who is on trial for the...
What the fuck?
Reestablish race relations in this country. Should be swinging from a tree outside this courthouse.
Karmelo Anthony.
Excuse me if I use
It's annoying as shit. He's popping up at everything. He was one of the
That's crazy. That's actually
the rioters from the Capitol or whatever the fuck that situation was. He got pardoned for the shit or whatever. And then he got thrown out of Chud the Builder's court appearance.
A conservative activist pardoned by President Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection was led out of a Montgomery courthouse in handcuffs today.
It happened during a hearing for social media personality Chud the Builder, whose real name is Dalton Etherly. During the hearing, the judge asked conservative activist Jake Lang to leave. Lang had reacted to video evidence being played in the courtroom. While being escorted out, Lang said something about a, quote, two-tier justice system. The judge then ordered an officer to take him into custody.
Now, Lang is a self-proclaimed January 6th political prisoner.
So I guess
Then video evidence being played in the courtroom. While being escorted out, Lang said something about a, quote, two-tier justice system. The judge then ordered an officer to take him into custody.
Now, Lang is a self-proclaimed January 6th political prisoner.
So I guess jumping into anything race-related just gives this man purpose, but he's just like involved with every single thing that he can involve himself with. But you can hear the aggression, and obviously he's saying things to get wild reactions because this is, again, how he makes his money, is views and saying crazy shit.
I think it's victim culture. I think it's victim culture, and there's too much.
Now he's saying it's victim culture that black people feel like that, but he also just said your people are hunting us down, so that would make him sound like the victim.
Gosh, motherfucker, you barely made it. You got one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel.
So this was the same guy saying the only good cracker is a dead cracker. And clearly there's going to be people that are radicalized on both sides. Their opinions are not the opinions of everyone. So you can't just see Jake Lang and think all white people agree with him. You can't just see the one guy talking about crackers and think all black people agree with him. One voice does not speak for the entire race. Again, this isn't a race thing. Unfortunately, there's two different races involved, but this is a right versus wrong situation. So let's look at the facts and hear what actually came from the first day of trial.
Good afternoon. Yeah, day two off to a emotional start this morning. We had a first responder as the first witness on the stand, 3 witnesses so far, first responder and 2 officers. The first responder was a firefighter and paramedic that pretty much testified to the severity of the wound once he arrived to Austin Metcalf's body and just talked about the intense life-saving efforts they went through trying to revive him, to which, of course, to no avail. But they talked about, attaching a machine to his chest to read a pulse, and he had no pulse. They said it was flatline. There was an acronym he used, a medical term, and the prosecutor asked for, simplicity for the lay people in the gallery, and he just said, yeah, he had no pulse. He was pretty much dead.
And I mean, they say he got hit in the heart, so I can only imagine it would take like less than a minute for him to be gone. But that's the thing that a lot of people don't respect about first responders. Like you don't think of the things that they see. That firefighter is forever scarred by being the first one to respond to a teenager who had just been stabbed in the heart, and he has to be the one to report that this kid has no pulse and then testify about it and relive that memory.
Very cooperative. He was being compliant. He didn't try to run away. But the key thing about this testimony,
that's part of the job. Huh? Even firefighters, you see that shit being a firefighter. So you see people being burned alive. You see people jumping out of a building because they're scared to be burned alive. You see people, when you work in the field like that, law enforcement, firefighter, all that, medical, yeah, there's a chance of seeing people die. Huh? There's a chance. It's disgusting. It's cruel. But hey.
Here on the body cam, you hear Karmelo say to the officer, he put his hands on me, I told him not to. And when he says that phrase, he clearly he's crying hysterically. You can hear him sobbing in a very emotional state, but the prosecution's harping on that last half of that statement, the I told him not to part, because the prosecution says that's simply a lie. We've heard that phrasing, he told him not to put his hands on me, or put your hands on me and see what happens. That's the narrative that the prosecution's running with, and that eventually led Karmelo to stab Austin Metcalf. But there was another officer whose body cam was played during this officer's testimony where you heard the officer say, we have the alleged suspect, and then you clearly hear Karmelo say out loud, I'm not alleged, I did it. So kind of damaging to the defense's case here, but then we just heard from an officer who arrived who did not partake in any life-saving efforts for Austin Metcalf's body.
Did he tell I'm not alleged, I did it. Like, bro, you're goofy.
More of scene patrol, scene security is what he was saying, and evidence control.
At the same time, like, unless it's really proven he got jumped. If it was just a regular fight, that's some pussy shit. Unless you didn't jump, then pull out a weapon. But if it's a 1v1, if your hands don't work, then accept the ass beating. Simple as that.
He was the one securing off the scene there, and he actually showed, or we saw pictures of the knife. It was a 5-inch blade the first time the jury actually saw that knife.
So that kills all the rumors and people making shit up that it was a cleat tool. It was not a cleat tool. It was a knife. The thing about it was, I believe the length of a blade in Texas to be considered a weapon is like 5 or 5.5 inches, the actual blade, not the knife with the blade, right? And I believe the blade was only 3.5 inches. So while that doesn't qualify as a concealed weapon, it's still a knife. right? It's a pocket knife. You can get them at Lowe's, you can get them at Home Depot, whatever. It's not a hunting knife, but it's still a knife.
Person, they did a demonstrative effort in front of this jury where they showed that the blade could be swung out really quick with just the stroke of a thumb. You could open it really quickly with one hand. But the impactful part of that testimony is that we saw the body cam from this officer where you actually see Austin Metcalf's pretty much lifeless body, everyone trying to give him chest compressions, but you see the body on screen, and that obviously brought out a visceral, emotional reaction from the Metcalf family. Plenty of tears and sobbing and consoling. And I looked toward Karmelo Anthony's side, and it was pretty stoic. There was a pretty, a lack of emotion there, not necessarily in a negative sense, but just really take evidence here, all the facts of this case with the prosecution.
Now, we just heard from a black man that Austin Metcalf's side of the family was hysteric and crying, and Karmelo Anthony's side of the family showed no emotion. Not sympathy, not anything.
All right, you got to stop buying generic Viagra. If y'all over 40, you can get 9 pills of 100 milligram generic Viagra for just $7 with free shipping from Friday Plan. If you think it's a scam like I did at first,
absolutely. But you know what I didn't hear? They were trying to kill me. I was fearing for my life. I had nothing I could do. I had to do this to be able to get out of there because they were going to take my life. They were going to kill me. They were going to beat me to a pulp. I didn't hear any of that. So the self-defense argument starts to kind of fade a little, because that's at the moment when he's confronted by this officer and has the chance to say, listen, I did this because I had to. If I didn't, I would not have been able to get out of that tent. They were trying to beat me up. They were trying to do something to me. They were trying to kill me. You don't hear that.
Now that's interesting, because what he's pointing out is, obviously the defense, his defense is, I was in fear for my life. But at no point did he ever tell the police that. At no point did he say, I was in fear for my life, I had to do this, da-da-da. At no point is he defending the action. But on body cam, he's admitting it was him. It's not alleged. I did it.
A nice ass clip.
I'll be honest, it isn't sounding good for Karmelo, and it's sad to see that based on race. This is like a victory thing. Like, obviously one side want him to win, the other side don't. And it's so split down the middle between a racial division. It sucks, because it's things like this that just push more division throughout the country. Even in the comment sections, it's like, I can do a video on a situation, and if I don't completely align with one side, I have people from both sides like, oh, we knew the whole time you were this, or we know you're a traitor, and it's like the stupidest fucking shit I've ever seen. It's like, you can't have an opinion. You have to be all the way over here or all the way over there. If you try to meet it in the middle, you're pissing everybody off. And me personally, I don't give a fuck who I piss off. I don't give a fuck what keyboard warrior doesn't like it. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it and you see me in person. Either way, I'm gonna have my own opinion. I'm gonna stand on what I stand on. It is what it is. In this situation, it does not look good. At the same time, they just gave Karmelo a whole white jury. So form an opinion of that if you may. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't sound good. At the end of the day, he had a knife, an actual knife. He was pushed and he stabbed him. Do I think
that it sounds look terrible? And especially when the video actually does come out and it shows that that guy most likely is lying. I don't want to accuse him of lying, but most likely I feel like he lying. I'll be honest, I feel like he lying. That video's don't come out and we don't see. If he didn't that jump for real, it was a 1v1 and he just pulled out a knife on some pussy shit. I'm not even trying to say, excuse me, not even trying to say like on some pussy shit, but really, like, if he couldn't get the 1v1, he's not going to get no self-defense.
He's not. That falls under self-defense? Not really, no. I really don't. I don't, because the thing is this, right? I can't imagine myself bringing a knife to school, someone pushes me and I just stab them and feeling confident I'm gonna beat that case. I just don't. I don't give a fuck how big the kid was. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not looking at it from their case. I'm looking at it from my own point of view. I brought a knife to school, a kid pushed me, I stabbed him in the chest. I don't see how I'm beating that. I would be thinking like, fuck, can I get a plea? Can I take 15? Because I'm facing forever. But that's my thoughts and opinions on this situation. Let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake.
Yo, JW as video. Listen, I feel like this shit's a wrap. So he's on that hit with some football numbers, and he's on that throwing under the jail real shit, because he ain't beating this shit. It was not self-defense. He didn't dead jump. Wrap it up. Real shit. Wrap it the fuck up. W as video, J. Like always. I hope y'all enjoyed too. Yo, if y'all did enjoy, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. And if y'all want to see these reactions live, we are live every single day. Linked in the description. Tune out, or I said tune out. Tune in to the Twitch, yo. I'm gonna see you on the next one, alright? I hope y'all enjoy.